Thank you for watching. My name is Matthew Pascal. I worked on this project with Robbie Evans III. We're using ASP.NET MVC 5 to create a Minesweeper game. Created the login page, registration page, and also changed the layout to our liking. We've worked on this for about 6 weeks now, and we've come up with a semi-playable game. We ran into a few more issues than we'd hoped for, but we did get it mostly done. To start with, I'll go through some of our code here. Of course, we have our default pages that were created when we created our project that we adjusted. We have some links going to different pages than originally. Our layout page is a little bit different. It redirects, and we also have a collapsible navigation bar. We have a few different views here. We have our default view, of course. We have a user list to show all the users in the database. Of course, we hide the passwords. A registration page, a login page with password being hidden. We also have our models for all of our user accounts, our Minesweeper. We also have our controllers to help with our game, as well as for our accounts. And we have some other classes here, the web API config that we did, as well as our game boards controller that we worked on, and of course our home controller that comes standard. So we'll go ahead and go through some of the classes here in our program. We'll run starting at the index page, just because that's the start screen. So when you come here, of course you can expand the navigation bar, home, about, contact, and logout. Logout's there all the time. You can log out if you are currently logged in. We have a registration page. You can fill out your information. So just a test. We'll do test 2, male, 29. Let's say Florida. Put in my information here. Test 2. And I'll just make the password test. I'll go ahead and register. Should give us a success screen here in a moment. Of course, it was successfully registered here. You can view all the registered users down here at the bottom of the registration page. So we have test 2 here, we just created. Navigate back to the home screen, and we'll log in using our test ID. Of course, the password's hidden. If you're not registered, you can click this link here. It'll take you back to the register page. Otherwise, you can go ahead and log in. When you log in, you get the game screen here. There's a restart button. So if you click here, it should show up the count for the bombs around these. I didn't quite get that right. As you can see, this one is definitely not a bomb, so these should just say 1, which they do, unless there's bombs around here. I had some problems with the buttons because I have it checking all of these surrounding squares, but I couldn't make it check the surrounding squares for each button. Also, this one I couldn't get to show up with a number, but we can still play the game. You can see if it's a bomb. Of course, it shows up without a number, except for that one right there. And it checks all 8 surrounding squares for each button that you click. There were some problems with getting the buttons to disappear as well, so we should technically have these 2 buttons at least disappearing. These ones should stay, and you can still go through and click the buttons and it checks the surrounding squares. Of course, this one's a bomb, and if you click the bomb, you lose and it clears the board. Then you have to click the restart button and it shows up a new game. We have the save option here, which saves the current state of all the buttons. But we weren't able to get that implemented into the database, so there's no reloading of the game. We were hoping to put that in, hopefully inside of the game controller, right down here, but we didn't quite get that implemented. But for the most part, the game does work semi. well. It doesn't work quite exactly as Minesweeper works, but we did get the buttons to change using JavaScript in our file here. It works off of the game view, which is right here, which does take from the game controller. The game controller creates the board gets passed over to the game view. The game view creates a grid and then adds each button to it. I named the buttons according to the location X, location Y, and then I implemented the functions here. On click, we put our script in here. As you can see, it's pretty clean, very little script. That script is all hidden inside of the app and gameplay.js file, which you can see here. We check all cells, check neighbors beside and below and above, and also the save buttons here. And besides that, we just need to log out here. And of course you can see it switches from showing the welcome session to having no session. That's about it for our game. I hope you enjoyed and have a great night.